Hello and welcome to the Machona podcast. And this week we are talking about communication in relationships. So, effective communication is an essential aspect of any healthy relationship. Whether you're just starting a relationship or have been together for years, the ability to communicate effectively with your partner is crucial for building and maintaining a strong connection. However, communication can be a challenge, especially when you're dealing with complex emotions and sensitive issues. So we will discuss some strategies for effective communication and overcoming communication barriers in relationships. The first one is be clear and specific in your communication. So when communicating with your partner, it is essential to be clear and specific in your messages. Vague or ambiguous statements can be misinterpreted, leading to confusion or misunderstandings. So make sure you be clear about your intentions, thoughts, and feelings, and use specific examples to illustrate your points. Not just generalize things and say, oh, you always do this or you always do that. That might come out as an attack without any specific things to point out. But if you have examples, point out, this is when you say this is how I felt, or when you say that, this is how I felt, so that the person knows exactly where you're coming from. Number 2 is practice active listening. Active listening is an essential skill in effective communication. It involves paying close attention to your partner's words and nonverbal clues, reflecting on what they've said and responding appropriately. Avoid interrupting your partner and ask clarifying questions to ensure that you understand their message correctly. Asking is always the best, because if we don't ask, we deal based on assumptions, and assumptions are not usually reality, because it is something that you think your partner meant or the other person meant, but in actual sense it might be something different. So make sure you ask questions where you're not clear, so that you get clarity from your partner before you react or before you give them an answer. Number 3 is use I statements instead of you statements. You statements can come across as accusations or placing of blames, which can escalate conflict. I statements, on the other hand, focus on your own experiences and feelings, which can help your partner understand your perspective better. So you always do this, or you do that. Every time we are having a conversation, you do that. So when you hear someone pointing you out like that, automatically you feel the need to defend yourself, and you probably will start using the you as well. But if you go in, like sharing your experiences, or if this happens, I feel blah blah blah, or I get hurt, or I feel this kind of helps in showing you're not really placing you're sounding like you're pointing someone out, but you are expressing how you feel when that situation happens. And therefore somebody might pay close attention, because if they love you, they don't want to hurt you, and so they will listen to whatever it is that you have to say to them. Number 4 is don't avoid difficult conversations. Difficult conversations are often necessary for resolving conflict and improving communication in relationships. However, they can be uncomfortable and challenging to initiate. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations, approach them with a willingness to listen and find a solution. Use I statements to express your feelings and be open to your partner's perspective. So if you keep burying difficult conversations under the rag, then who's going to bring them up? So if there's something that you're not happy about in your relationship, point it out to your partner so that you can work together to find a solution. And in the same way, if your partner has something that they are not happy with, provide them with a welcoming environment so that they will be able to express their feelings as well without you being defensive or you being judgmental towards them. So provide for them a good environment, calm environment, I should say, where they are able to feel comfortable to express themselves. And number 5 is take a break if needed. Sometimes emotions can run high in a conversation, and taking a break can be helpful. If you or your partner feel overwhelmed, take a break and come back to the conversation later when you are both calm and ready to talk. This can help prevent conflicts from escalating and allow both parties to approach the conversation with a clear mind. So now this one, sometimes if you just abruptly leave the conversation, that shows disrespect. So make sure you are careful when you are taking this break. Inform your partner that you are not able to speak about it right there and then, but you will get back to them. And if you tell your partner that, please do get back to them. After you have calmed down, please do get back to them so that you can be able to discuss with a clear mind at least. Because when tempers are high or tempers are boiling, you can't find reason in most cases. You end up just throwing punches at each other because you feel that's how you're going to defend your honor, so to speak. But just remember that conflicts are there to help correct things that are not going the way you both want them to go. And so if you have a conflict, it's an opportunity to correct something about your relationship, and not an opportunity for you to start pointing out the failings of your partner, or them starting to point out your failings. That is not the way to go. So always remember that when you have a conflict, you should look for resolutions instead. So in conclusion, effective communication is an essential aspect of any healthy relationship. And by being clear and specific in your communication, and practicing active listening, and using I statements and not avoiding conversations, you can be able to navigate communication barriers and build stronger and more meaningful relationships with your partners. This is what I had for you today. But if you have any questions, any comments, or any additions, please do get in touch with me. Leave your comment, and I will try as much as I can to get back to you so that we can educate each other, and also maybe even have ideas for future episodes as well. So have a great week. Take care, and I'll see you next week. This has been Happy Machona, signing off.